folks. So, I want to talk a little bit about the Virginia and California situation. I know most folks are concentrating primarily on California, or Virginia, I'm sorry, but California is an issue too. Because both states are trying to initiate the same draconian style gun laws. Both states are trying to kill the Second Amendment in their states, banning militias and certain kinds of firearms. That being said, I'm going to give you some scenarios today that I feel are possibilities given the circumstances in both states. So, number one, they're, again, both trying to abolish the Second Amendment in their states. They're trying to make it to where you can't defend yourself, period. That's their goal. They want you disarmed, disorganized, and disenfranchised. Period. They're going to demonize you and make you look like monsters every chance they get in the mainstream media. No militia or citizens activism groups are going to be painted in any way in a positive manner. It will not happen. They're going to be fringe groups and right-wing psychos. Yeah. So, the Democrats know this impeachment hearing isn't going to go anywhere. It's going to die in the Senate, period. Unless they pull out some, big-time beatdown, it's going to die in the Senate. Now, what you can bet is Congress is going to drag this out as long as they can to avoid that second report on the FISA controversy. I can't remember the prosecutor's name right now. The first one has come in, and it's not pretty. It shows a lot of serious issues with how that warrant was achieved and the lengths they went to infringe on Americans' constitutional rights by obtaining a warrant under false pretenses. Bad juju. So the day comes. They say, turn in your AR-15s or you're going to jail. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. First question you got to ask is, who is going to help them do it? Okay? The first 30 days, it's going to break down like this. Okay? It's going to be 15% law enforcement, 20% active duty military, and that active duty military is going to be deployed from other places where they don't have family there. It's not going to be the local National Guard they're going to bring in, because the local National Guard is probably going to revolt. They're probably going to say, screw that. But if they pull in, say, National Guardsmen from California and send them to Virginia, and vice versa, or National Guardsmen from New York and New Jersey or Oregon or wherever, and send them in there, they don't have that investment in that community. Which is also why the Dick Act is very dangerous and unconstitutional, because it makes the militia beholden to the federal government and makes them nothing but their pawns. Anyway, so next you're going to have private military companies and private security companies. They're going to make up about 20% of those force, and they're going to be hired by FEMA, because this is going to be declared an emergency situation, and FEMA is going to be moved in. The rest of these forces are going to be made up of FEMA personnel, roughly 45%. And for the first 30 days, this is going to be who is trying to take your guns away. Now, whether or not these 15% side with Democrats and liberals, they are the enemy. Irregardless of what they think, they're the enemy, and these Democrats are going to send them in to die first. Because there are going to be people who do not yield, who will fight for their freedom. The remainder of law enforcement is either going to step aside or they're going to fight with us. Period. I don't believe they're going to take an active role in this, other than 15%. Active duty military, I think it's going to be the same thing. They're going to either die fighting, or they're going to AWOL, join the people, something to that effect. I don't think they will be in the second phase of this, or they'll be absorbed into other functioning groups. So after that first 30 days, which is probably going to be about September of next year, mind you, they're going to drag this impeachment out to as far as they can to keep the public's attention away from that report on the FISA issue. Guarantee it. So that's the first 30 days of the gun grab, probably September. Now in October, you're going to see a slight change in things. FEMA is going to be using primarily private military companies and private security companies that they were already using, and FEMA personnel, and continuing their efforts to take your guns. I believe there will be pocketed resistance. Several counties have become Second Amendment sanctuary. Several sheriffs have talked about deputizing anyone that wants to show up and fight. Cool. Good for them. Way to keep your oath. Thank you. So with active duty law enforcement and active duty military out of the equation, you're going to see a couple things happen. Congress is going to get their gavels out and want to have hearings, and they're going to get to the bottom of this problem and how to solve it in like 5 years or some amount of time, after they vote for, who can go to what bathroom and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so in October, you're going to see a change. You're going to see 50% of the base troops being FEMA, with 25% being PMC and private security companies. Okay? But the big change is that they're going to say, well, this situation's gotten out of our hands. We can't call the military in and declare war on the people, because the military shouldn't be used in the first place. However, the Dick Act does give power to declare martial law and all that. So what they're going to do is they're going to call for help. And that help is going to show up in the form of the United Nations. The United Nations has been itching for years to push the Small Arms Treaty into effect. And this is just a foothold for them to do that. Guaranteed. So at that point, they're going to supplement those current forces, FEMA and private military and private security, with UN forces, about 25%. And they're going to keep trying to fight with you to get your guns. Okay? Then, a month after that, in November, you're going to see a lot start changing. The election is going to be about that time. They're not going to come out and say immediately it's about taking over the country. They're going to let the election happen. If they get the result they want, which is a Democrat president who will declare our firearms illegal, gut our Second Amendment, and infringe on our constitutional rights in every way he can or she can, it'll all go away. But when Trump wins, and Trump's going to win, count on it. Because Sleepy Joe Biden isn't an option, period. Pete Buttigieg, yeah, no. And see, Kamala Harris is gone. Beto's gone. See, oh, Cory Booker. Spartacus. That's our next president, sure. No. The only Democrat that might be able to face off against Trump would be Tulsi Gabbard. And as much as I respect her service and everything, she'd be horrible for the country. Horrible. She's a left-wing environmentalist whack job. But she does care about our troops. And I think her foreign policy is very sound. That being said, everything else, no. So they're going to watch. And they're going to hope that they throw enough shit at the wall that something sticks. And it won't. And it's after that that we have to worry. Because the United Nations has a foothold in our country. And they're already working on disarming Americans. I'll discuss the second half of this video Friday when we discuss the logistics of it and why those states and what it means for us. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section. Please like and share and subscribe. And as always, folks, be decent to each other because we're all in this together. God bless.